friends, and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about a product that I received in my February Ipsy subscription. This is the Multi-X Repair Cream. It's by Lab4U, that's the brand, which I had not heard of before I received this. I've been using this for about a week now, which is as much use as I can get out of this sample, and I have some thoughts on it. I did some research into it, and I'm going to share that with all of you. I'm going to talk about the brand, I'm going to talk about the product, I'm going to give you my review of it, and I'm going to put timestamps for all of that in the description bar down below. So Lab4U, this is a Korean brand and they don't have a huge number of products. They have a line of face masks and then they have some moisturizers and cleansers. So let's talk a little bit more about them. I'm going to read to you from their About Us page, which is on their US version of their site, so it's in English. However, the translation is not great, so I apologize if things sound a little stilted or the grammar is not proper, but I just want to tell you what they say about themselves. Lab4U started from a raw material researching lab in South Korea. Through many researches, a group of experts created a skincare line that has trusted and safest ingredients that really work for the skin. Our Multi-X line, of which this is a part, is used and found in dermatology clinics in South Korea to repair and rejuvenate skin damages or irritation after dermatology treatments. We took out the unnecessary chemicals that can irritate skin because it is very important to calm and soothe skin immediately after certain treatments. Our products are focused to heal and protect the skin from external damages. We continue testing and research best ingredients for the skin. So they really have a focus here on skin that is irritated, skin that is maybe a little bit damaged, and skin that needs extra care. So they don't really market some of these products as ongoing use products, specifically for certain times that your skin might need them. So as I mentioned, they do have a collection of sheet masks. They appear to have 4 different kinds that are Juice Up Kale, Juice Up Tomato Mask, Juice Up Pumpkin Mask, and Juice Up Blackberry Mask. They're each $9 for 5 of them, so they are incredibly reasonable, and these are all US prices from this website. The other 3 products they have are the Multi-X Cleansing Foam, the Multi-X Repair Cream, which I have here, and the Multi-X AC Cream. And the prices for the masks I mentioned are reasonable. The prices are a little bit higher than drugstore pricing for the Multi-X line. It's a little more like what you would expect to pay in Sephora. Talking about this product in particular, this little sample that we get here is 10 milliliters. If you do buy a full size, it is 100 milliliters. So you do get 10 times the amount of this sample. And for that, you are going to be paying $48 US. So as I said, it is pricey. So the Multi-X Repair Cream helps to restore the damages on the skin by instantly soothing and moisturizing skin after any irritation. Solves problems for skin that have become sensitive due to outer surface damage on the skin. It includes witch hazel water, 9 growth factor, and patented ingredient Multi-X BSASM+. I don't know what that is, but they talk about researching their ingredients and finding things that are really good for helping your skin reduce irritation and heal itself. It is 8-free, so they do highlight some ingredients that are not in this, including parabens and fragrance and colors and mineral oil, and a few other things there that I can't really pronounce. And that's really as much as I have to tell you about this product. So let me tell you about my experience using it, and then the little bit of research I did, and where you may want to use this, or when you may want to use this. So when I first started using this, a few things struck me, and I think I've left just enough left in the bottle here to get a bit out to show you. Maybe I'm like squeezing right down on this. So I've been using this basically as my daily daytime moisturizer for about a week now. There we go. So I obviously have makeup on right now, so I'm not going to rub this into my face, but I will rub it into my hand. So the first thing that I notice is it does have a very medicinal smell, and not to put you off too much from this, it reminds me of the smell of a medication I used to use. I used to have a basset hound and I would have to put drops in her ears because her ears became easily infected, and that's the smell that I get from this. I've come to realize that I think the main smell in here is witch hazel, which is the #1 ingredient, which also makes sense in those eardrops because it tends to be drying, and that just kind of makes sense. But this is also a very gel-like texture. So it isn't a thick cream, although I know it looks a little bit that way. It's a very gel, watery kind of cream. So it feels like it smooths out quite a bit and doesn't have that density to it, but rather a very watery feel to it. And I did find when I use this that although there is that smell right away, the smell does go away very quickly. It didn't irritate my skin at all, and it made my skin feel very moisturized and nourished. I even used it up under my eyes as an eye cream, and there was no burning of my eyes. There was nothing that irritated me, and I tend to have really sensitive eyes for using creams near them. So that's already sunk in. There's a little bit of moisture you can still feel, but it does sink in very quickly, and then it's just very, very smooth. It did make my skin, whether it's placebo effect or not, feel very calm and just nicely hydrated. And it definitely did not clog any of my pores. It didn't irritate in any way, which is something that I would have noticed over a week. Because I could only use the sample for a week, I can't tell you like the 3-month benefits of it. But I can tell you in the short term, moisturizing, soothing, non-irritating, non-pore clogging, and doesn't irritate my eyes. So when I started reading more about this, I wanted to look a little bit more, I feel like I'm getting very pale. I'm just turning the lights down a little bit. I wanted to look a little bit more into witch hazel because it's the main ingredient in here. And there's some really conflicting information out there. So a number of people use witch hazel toners because it's known to be a bit of an astringent. It tightens your skin a little bit. It can feel a little bit drying, but it feels like it's sort of doing that tightening. And it claims in some articles I read, although this isn't true, to shrink pores. We all know you can't change the size of your pores, but I think because it does tend to tighten, it reduces the look of pores. It's also used quite a bit for soothing irritating skin. So if you have burns or a kind of irritation, which I think is why it's in here. Now, there were other studies that I read that said you don't necessarily want to be using witch hazel ongoing. It can be very drying over time and start to irritate the skin. So although you often see it in acne fighting formulas because it does have that ability to dry and sort of dry up oil a little bit, some studies say that using it for a long time is not going to be good for your skin. So with all of that information out there, what do I think of this? Well, I'm not sure that I would use it as my daily moisturizer if I bought a big container of it, because I think there is that sort of drying aspect if I kept using it that maybe would start to become a problem. My skin doesn't feel at all dry right now with it, but again, I only used it for about a week. I think having this on hand in the summer might be really good. As much as I try and put on sunblock, and I do put on sunblock, I have skin that is incredibly easy to burn. I can put on a 50 sunblock, and if I don't reapply it every 2 hours, if I'm in direct sunlight, I will burn. And even then, because you tend to miss places, or, you know, if you're out swimming or in the sun, I just tend to get burns. And you really want to hydrate those burns, but I found by putting my usual moisturizer on top, it almost feels like it's irritating it and sort of trapping in or like forming a layer, whereas I want that irritation to be soothed but also breathe a little bit. I feel like this would be excellent for using on skin that has become sunburnt, or if you have skin that tends to get rashes or feel irritated, this would be excellent for that. So I do start to think that maybe it would be a good thing to keep on hand for the summer, or as I said, easily irritated skin. So with all of that information out there, I would be curious what you think if you have received this in your Ipsy bag, if you have tried this before or any of their other products. Let me know in the comments down below. I do respond to every comment that I get, and I love hearing from you guys. I know this is a little bit of a mixed review, but I like giving you guys all the information that I can get. If it wasn't for those little bits of things that I found about witch hazel, which makes me question it a bit, I would say this is actually an excellent daily moisturizer. If you maybe have slightly oilier skin and don't want something really heavy. But I want you to make your own decision about whether this is something you would want to have ongoing, but I think it's great in the short term for irritated skin. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing all of you in my next video. Thanks so much and have a great day. Bye.